So Sagrada Reset is honestly at this point one of my most anticipated anime to watch every single week, which some people are going to be like, Brandon, you're overrating this anime, like it's not that good, like it's kind of interesting at best. But honestly for me, after this episode, I really am dying to watch the next episode. This is a series I'm really glad I'm watching weekly. I'm not binging it, watching 3 to 5 episodes in a row at any given time, because kind of like ReZero, I like having that break to kind of think about what happens. Not in the case of like there's suffering and things like that, just because I like to be able to think about what I saw in the episode and what I think is going to happen in the next week. I like series like that you have that week break and you really get to think about all the little details, all the little intricate parts that are making what this series is and how it's going to play a factor in the coming episodes. I really like this episode. I thought, yes, I mean, in terms of the actual facial animations, it's still nothing spectacular, but the overall quality of this episode, from the actual content it was presenting to just the ideas, I thought was very interesting. I mean, literally, we have like another case of them putting in a word that you think is like, what is going to be the point of talking about a MacGuffin? Like, seriously, like, all that is just a plot device to make it so a character will do something. In the case of a thief, they're going after a stash of cash. And this idea gets brought up of like, do you know what it is? And Kay throughout this entire episode is trying to figure out what the hell it means and why he was asked. And I think it's pretty damn clear that Kay himself is the MacGuffin. That he is the plot device to make it so whatever these people are planning, because it seems like this girl, because the episode overall is this girl says her cat got killed, ran over, she's had the cat for 6 months, she wants Kay and Haruki to basically save the cat. Simple enough, but the weird thing is the organization says, yeah, you can do this, but they're only supposed to get into anything related to people with supernatural abilities, but they give the approval for saving a cat, but they do it anyway. But the interesting thing is when you're watching the episode, because Kay, he doesn't like changing the future for unnecessary reasons, because when he did that back 2 years ago, he actually didn't have the ability to save one of his friends who ended up dying because he reset after the kiss, which if you're a teenage boy or a teenage girl, you would reset for pointless things. That's how a high schooler would act, honestly. But now he doesn't want to unnecessarily reset things, which makes total sense. He's grown up. He doesn't want to have a repeat instance of him resetting pointlessly, and then in doing so, he can't save someone's life like in the past. And throughout this episode, you're seeing that, like, when he resets, even though he's heard conversations before, he acts like it's the first time. He doesn't want to unnecessarily, like, change things. He wants to keep everything the way it was in the original timeline, so things won't change. But when he resets, things do start to change. He's starting to hear conversations that weren't in the original timeline, which is really interesting because this power has been laid out, the groundwork has been laid out, that all it is essentially a rewind. We're not making a new timeline, it's essentially just going back to a point in time, rewinding it, and everything should play out the exact same way. So either someone has an ability that can also affect time or memories, or something else is going on here, and someone is using K and his ability to remember, and also Haruki's ability to reset time for their own gains. And this girl, she never had this cat. This cat is a stray cat, as we learn. This girl who has the ability to enter cats' minds and like read into their thoughts. And at the very end, we see her give the cat back at the point of which the cat should die, get ran over. And she has the ability to somehow control gravity, and she uses gravity to change her upper body weight, and she pretty much flies away. And you're left here thinking, what was the point of this? This girl says she has the cat. This is her cat that died. Obviously, she wanted Kay to reset so something would happen. Maybe so he couldn't reset in a future point in time. Maybe so he couldn't change something that she wanted to happen, and she used this cat as a decoy. But it's very clear that Kay himself is the MacGuffin. Like, the way the idea is presented and the fact that no one's answering the question. The fact that everything is linking up to him seeing that the future is actually changing slightly. Not overly changing, but things are changing. And the way they're executing these ideas, like just the way the dialogue works and how it poses questions to them, either the next episode or later in the episode, it answers said question. I really love how the dialogue is in this series. It makes it so engaging. The animation isn't anything spectacular, but it immerses me so damn much. And what I really like is this is, you know, you could call it a 2-year time skip, but really if we look at the first 2 episodes, it was technically set in the past. We were watching their past. And now we're in the proper timeline, or at least the proper present, because now the characters are 2 years older. And we see a major difference in both both Kei as well as Haruki's personality. Haruki 2 years ago, she was almost like a robot. The zeroth rule was brought up last week. She really was a machine, and then she kind of accepts that she wants to be around Kei. So to see where she's at now, 2 years later, she actually does have much more of a personality. She feels more human. She does still have a little bit of robotic nature, but she does have a personality to her, and Kei himself is much more mature, not wanting to just overly rewrite timelines, change the future. He seems much more to the point. He doesn't want to unnecessarily do things, but also he does have a little bit of a flirtatious nature in this sort of way. Like, I really like where the characters are currently at, and I think having it be 2 years in the future from where episodes 1 and 2 were is actually a really interesting point. I just really like this series a lot. It's so far not doing anything overly wrong except presentation, which I can overlook because it's not completely ugly to me. It's kind of mediocre, but like I've mentioned, it sort of works in its favor. The only thing I'd really want change is the facial animations to be a bit more unique and maybe just a bit more with variety. I mean, animation by like the core, it doesn't do much variety with like mouth movements and things like that, but I would like to see a bit more, and hopefully in the future we will. But this is a 2-core series, they gotta take some shortcuts somewhere. But overall, I absolutely loved episode 3, and I can't wait to see what they do with episode 4. The fact that now when Kei wakes up, there is a floating ghost girl above him. The future is starting to change, and for what reason? That's going to be really interesting to see where that leads up to in the next couple of episodes. But let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. Did you love it? Did you hate it? Or do you think it was just okay? Before you leave, hit the like button, show your support. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe. So until next time, everyone, please take care and have a good one.